everyone, and welcome to Microsoft Mechanics Live. If you've ever wondered what connects all the different Office app experiences together, we're going to look at the built-in AI, the general configurations, and the settings that span Office 365 with the Microsoft Graph. We're going to demystify it for you in the next 15 minutes. And to do that, we're actually joined by Mr. PowerShell himself, Jeffrey Snover, in his new role, looking after the Microsoft Graph and its Substrate. Give him a warm welcome, everybody.
Thanks. It's great to be back. Great to be back.
All right, so Jeffrey, when I think about the Microsoft 365 kind of Graph and Substrate, it always seems like it's kind of not real. It's marketing. It's got kind of a different flavor to it. Can you make this real for us?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's no mythical unicorns, no rainbows, no leprechauns. This is just pure technology. In fact, what I'm going to show you is a few examples of AI and of the graph, and show you how to connect those dots together, and also show you how to use it as an admin. So first, let me open up office.com. So this is office.com, and it's showing you my most recently used files that I've accessed. OK, great. That's the MRU. We all have seen that. But then this is where the AI starts to kick in. Discover. So you know how an amazing amount of work happens when you go get a cup of coffee or drink of water, and you run into somebody in the hallway. You're like, oh, hey, what are you working on?
It happens every day.
And then he's like, oh, well, you should talk to this person or follow up on that.
Right.
Well, this is what I like to call the virtual water cooler feature. Because what it does is it takes a look at me and who my collaborators are and what they've been working on and what's most important and what's trending most. And then it brings it to me. So here I can see Alex been very busy. He's been working on this product overview, on the product pitch. Lynn's been working on this marketing analysis. And so it shows me everything. It's the virtual water cooler. And then I can hover over Alex, because it showed me who he is, what he's been working on. And I can click and see the people card. I'm in love with the people card. I just love this thing. It tells me everything about Alex, gives me his contact information, shows me all the files that he's recently been working on that I have access to. If he's ackled it so I don't see it, I don't see it. I can see emails that I've had from them, but then I can also see their organization. So I can see what things his coworkers have been working on. I can navigate to his boss, and I can send her an email telling her what a great job I thought Alex did on that recent document. So amazing stuff. Now I'll open up PowerPoint.
All
This
right.
gets fun.
It even comes into the actual rich clients as well, right?
Exactly. Who would expected to see Jeffrey Snover demoing PowerPoint? OK, so I'm going to start. Right? I'm going to start a new thing.
It's got power in the title, so it kind of works.
It does. So close. So of course, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new outline, a new deck, and I'm going to talk about what? My favorite topic, PowerShell. Now what it does is it goes out into the internet and finds information. Hey, which of these were you interested in? Well, it was PowerShell. Analyzes all the semantics around that it knows about in the public knowledge base, and says, here's the topics that you could talk about. So I'll select all but those two, and now what it's doing is it's generating a slide deck for me. I pick an outline template, and look here, it tells me information about it, licensing type. Here's some additional topics to research. There's this guy, Jeffrey Snover, apparently involved in it, and it gives me a structure. Okay, now that's great, except turns out I've done some talks about PowerShell in the past.
Right.
So now what I can do is reuse slides. Reuse slides will now search across all the things that I've done in the past, my OneDrive, my SharePoints, et cetera, everything that I have access to. I'll search for PowerShell. I'll take a look down. Oh, yeah, that was a great talk. I'll choose some slides from it. I'll come in here and pick that story. And boom, grab slides from things. So it facilitates a very natural flow of work.
Awesome, awesome stuff. So they saw a number of things that were happening there in terms of Office being able to easily present you everything you've been working on with the most recently used list, take inputs of content that you have access to. These are only things that you can and have permissions to see. The people that you most commonly work with, the popularity of the files themselves, and also these dynamic content recommendations. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. But wait, it gets better.
Okay.
Let me just blow your mind here. Okay, so let me show you an experience that I've had a lot since I changed organizations. Okay, so here I'll navigate to a website, and it'll be talking about some project that I know absolutely nothing about. I mean, that's how I spent the last 4 months. What? Just learn mode, right? So here it's talking about Project Saturn. I know nothing about Project Saturn, but notice now using the new Cortex project, Saturn is now highlighted, and when I click on it or hover over it, I get a topic card. So this topic card has an AI-generated description about the project. It shows the people associated with that project and a couple resources. And if I want more detail, I'll click on the title. It'll take me to a page for that topic, Saturn. Again, here it gives me more people and a full list of documents associated with the Saturn project.
So really, really cool stuff. And just to put this into context, this is actually completely machine-generated pages. All of the relationships there, all of the text that you see there, all of it was machine-generated from the graph and all of the AI effectively in Office.
Exactly, and that is the point. There was no admin who got there and said, new project, Saturn, here's the description of Saturn. That's not how it works. Artificial intelligence. An artificial intelligence agent went and looked at all the documents, all the interactions, understands how people talk about projects, and it determined that this was a project and put together all the resources and tied them together to produce this experience. And so this highlights, I love this project because it highlights Microsoft's unique approach to artificial intelligence. What we do is we take Microsoft AI, we combine it with the Microsoft Graph and the Office Substrate, and we use AI to help you become more productive with your goals.
All right, so now we've seen it in action. I think probably everybody wants to know underneath, under the hood, how does all the stuff actually work? What can you do with it, and what are the ways that you can actually explore it?
Yeah, right. Well, I recently moved here from Windows and Azure, and when I was in those organizations, I'd hear about these things, but honestly, I never really understood what you were talking about. It sort of felt more like a marketing thing than a technology thing. So then when I transferred over, I started doing some deep drill-ins. What are you talking about? How's that work? Whatever. And then all of a sudden, it made a lot of sense, right? And in particular, when I viewed it from an operating system perspective, everything became super clear and obvious.
Right, because you were indeed the chief architect of Windows Server. Just the good ones, though, right?
The good versions, yes, that's right. Okay, so let's walk through Office 365 from an operating system perspective, and I think you'll see how clear it is. So what we did was we took the Office applications and we refactored them to work together in the cloud, right? And as we refactored them so that we could deliver a common set of customer promises around availability, durability, privacy, and security. And in that process, what we ended up building was a planetary scale people operating system, a people operating system. Okay, that's the heart of Office 365. The heart of it is the substrate, so let's start there. The substrate. Substrate is a set of storage and a set of services. These services are for creating, collaborating, and communicating. Everything gets stored in the substrate or has a digital twin in the substrate. This includes all your emails, all your files, all your chats, all your calendar items, etc. Then the Microsoft Graph is a public REST API to the data in Microsoft 365. That extends beyond Office 365 to include services like Azure Active Directory, Intune for policy delivery, and it connects to Windows and more. It also layers in insights, artificial intelligence insights, and connects the dots between the elements in the graph. Okay? So it builds this comprehensive and intelligent interface to all the people and organization and the things that tie them together. The graph is, of course, a REST API, and so it works with all the popular languages, runtimes, and scripting tools, including the king of them all, my favorite, PowerShell.
Okay, so this explains then what the graph and the substrate do, but how do they actually work?
Okay, let's go back to my operating system analogy, because I think that makes things super clear. We'll walk through it from an operating system perspective lens, and I'll then show you how that maps for a Windows operating system maps to a people operating system, aka Office 365. So using Windows as an example, look, an operating system, pretty simple beast, does 3 things. Number 1, it manages and protects resources. So what are the resources of a device? There's CPU, memory, hard drive. How do you protect them? Windows Defender. Number 2 is it helps developers write consistent applications. How does it do that? With a set of services, like Job Scheduler, with a set of APIs, think Win32, and a set of common controls, think file and print dialog boxes. And the third thing an operating system does is it provides a set of base applications and a mechanism, a store, to get additional first and third-party applications. So think the shell, the browser, and then third-party apps that you can get from the Microsoft Store. So with that simple focus in mind, right, operating system does 3 things. Let's take a look at Office 365, our people operating system. So instead of focusing on devices, we focus in on resources. So what does it do? It manages the resources like users, documents, messages, calendars, and then it protects those people resources with things like information protection and Office ATP. Next is it provides developer services. It provides things like chat, calling, email, search, and a new set of intelligence services like semantic search, knowledge management. It has common APIs. Just as we had Win32, we have Microsoft Graph, our public API, and we have a common set of controls, the people card, the file card, the topic card. And then last, the third layer is it provides a set of applications. Think Word, Teams, Outlook, and it provides Office Store to get additional first and third-party applications.
Great. So practically speaking, let's go to the Microsoft Graph. How do developers actually take advantage of that?
Yeah, so the best way for everybody to do that is to start using the Graph Explorer. Now, the best way to get to the Graph Explorer is aka.ms/GE, Graph Explorer, GE. Okay, this is the Graph Explorer. Now, to use this public website, you do not need an account. You can log into your account if you want to, but you don't need to. Here, I'm logged in as Megan Bowen. And here it shows a set of queries. I can get my profile. Here's Megan's photo. She's a handsome fellow there. Anyway, so here's a set of sample queries. And what it does is it shows you this is a get and the URL, and here's what you get. So this sample then shows you how to get information about users, about groups, about mail, calendar, OneDrive. It has applications like Excel, Planner, Insights, SharePoint, does batching. Now, this REST API has gets, like PowerShell, a lot of gets, but it also has a set of patches, which are like updates, delete, which is like a PowerShell remove, and then post, which is like a set. Okay, so it does a full range of capabilities here.
All right, so why don't you show us, we talked about Discover before and kind of some of the insights and AI that we can get when we go to office.com. Is that here as well?
Right, right. Remember in the beginning I said Discover, and it showed me all the things that were trending around me? Well, right here, items trending around me, and here's the URL, Graph, Me, Insights Trending. And here it shows you all the things that are trending around Megan.
It's a nice machine-generated view of all the different things that you get, but you can make that cleaner than that, I think.
You can.
Using other tools, right? So
like PowerShell.
Exactly, like PowerShell. So looking at the commands, this looks suspiciously like PowerShell in some ways, where you can scope the commands, drill into specific enumerations of things, but where does PowerShell actually fit into this?
Yeah, of course you can use PowerShell here. You know, really, PowerShell was the original management surface, control plane for Microsoft 365. So we've always had commandlets for the Office stuff, and as we went to M365, we had them too. But one of the challenges that we've had is because we innovate so quickly, keeping those in sync with the innovations, with the public APIs, has been a challenge. So here at Ignite 2019, we're announcing a new set of commandlets. These are under preview, and this marks a new approach to PowerShell for MS Graph. And these PowerShell commandlets are based upon auto-generation. Okay, so Azure has had auto-generation tools to generate their SDKs from REST APIs for quite some time now, and they recently extended that tool to auto-generate PowerShell commandlets as well. So this allows us to keep up to date. As we update the graph, we can auto-generate new APIs. It also ensures complete consistency of the commandlets. So let's show an example of that. This is showing the new wonderful Windows terminal. So if you see that nice background
Definitely
there, that's what's
download
going
this
on.
if you haven't. Yeah, this is awesome.
It is. It's fantastic. So what I'll do is I'll get module for the Microsoft.graph.beta, and you'll see quite a long list here. Notice that these modules all work with PowerShell Edition's core or desktop, so they work in either edition. I'm actually demoing this using PowerShell core. Okay, so lots of modules, but how many commands are there? So I'll get all the commands, and there are almost 2,400 commandlets, and we're not done yet. We're still generating some additional commandlets here. Now what I'll do is I'll connect to the graph. When you connect to the graph, you specify the permissions that you want. So I've now connected to the graph. And now what I can do is things like get group. When I get group, I get objects, right? So I can do all my PowerShell wonderfulness to it. I can sort them by display name and then format a table using wildcarding. So I get the display name, visibility, group types, and description. All the PowerShell wonderfulness. Now here's a little bit of magic. I'm not going to describe it in great detail, but it's on the screen so you can follow up afterwards. At the beginning, I get a set of users. In the end, I format them as a table using display name, the ID, and phone numbers. And in the middle, there's a little bit of magic. What's actually happening is that Microsoft Graph uses IDs often, okay? And let me show you what an ID looks like. That's what an ID looks like. So you're going to remember that number? Not so much. You're going to type that in? Not so much. This little piece of magic here is a for loop. It creates a hash table and adds each one of these IDs to the hash table indexed by the display name. Okay? And so what that allows us to do is this little piece of magic. So I get user insight trending. Those are the items trending around a user. It wants a user ID, and so I say $ID, that's the hash table, and then I give the name of the person. It'll index into that hash table, find our ID, and substitute it here, and I format it as a table. And these were the items that were trending around Megan.
Except now it's much more readable than what we saw in the web, right?
Exactly, exactly. So PowerShell, leveraging the graph, leveraging AI, all the pieces connect together in a very nice harmonious loop for you.
Very cool. So thank you so much. I hope this helped demystify a lot of the functions for the Microsoft Graph and Substrate. Now, if I wanted to go deeper into this and really learn a lot more, what would you recommend?
Yeah, so there's a great developer series at aka.ms/graph. And you can go to the aka.ms/Graph Explorer to see what you can do as well. And of course, if you haven't already, start learning PowerShell. We've just released PowerShell Preview version 7, Preview 5, I believe. That's available now. And if you're a Linux user, you haven't started, you're really missing out. This is really taking off. The Linux adoption of PowerShell core has been fantastic. So we started off in June of 2017, had 0, and now we have over 10 million starts a month with PowerShell core.
Amazing updates, great tips, Jeffrey. And of course, keep watching Microsoft Mechanics for all the latest updates. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. That's all the time we have for this show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.